I'm Mark Severide with League of Truth Ministries in South Texas. Excuse me. Today I want to talk to you about the concept of absolutism. It took me a while to kind of wrap my mind around this concept. Literally, what is it? Things like that. And why it would be important to me as a Hebrew Israelite, believer of the Most High. And it's very simple once I really got a chance to kind of sit down and think about it. Mind you, this information didn't really come across me right away. It was something that kind of manifested over time and experience. And obviously a leading of the Holy Spirit to allow me to see certain aspects of this concept of absolutism. So first, let me go ahead and define absolutism in terms of dictionary, I guess. This absolute.
You're also cousins with Madonna. That's true. So, can I see that one? Yes, because I think it's amazing to see you, how closely related you are.
Yeah, no doubt. Are absolutes, obviously, it's one of the main points of this video. They're not just normal points, they're strange points, they're philosophical points, but ultimately an absolute idea has nothing to do with subjectivity. It's not open to interpretation. It is the acceptance of truth, right? Black is black, white is white, those sorts of concepts. Now, there are other, I guess, humanistic understandings of the concepts of colors, like, I don't know, pink is for girls and blue is for boys, when it's nothing more than a color. That will fall under subjective reasoning, okay? But the definition of absolutism I do agree with, okay, in all facets of reality. Philosophy, science, it simply is or is not, all right? So why is it important to understand absolutism as a Hebrew Israelite or in anything really? But, I'm coming from that standpoint, obviously. Because we have been taught that absolutism is evil. It's wrong. It is not the way humanity should be thinking.
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy. Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
We'll come back to that point in a moment. I just want to make sure that we understand what I am viewing as an absolute. It simply is or is not, okay? There's another film that I want to reference real quick because there was a lot of, I guess, we'll say hearsay to the implications of the moral standpoint of this film series or trilogy, which most people know as The Matrix. A lot of people don't know that obviously it was an Illuminist film made by Freemasons. Silver Pictures is known for Illuminati films, and Warner Brothers, a little on the Illuminati side. Now, I'm gonna try to get into more than just pop culture. The reason I use pop culture is because, first of all, it's something that we as, I guess, last generation citizens of the United States and Western world ideologies, we're very familiar with pop culture because it's been inundated with us for a very long time. And unfortunately, it has to be used to kind of, pull somebody out of that apathy, to get them to understand that there is something far more dubious, far more I guess, dangerous going on in all of this. And pop culture, it's straight out, conditioning people. Long story short, Neo represents Lucifer, Satan, and Agent Smith represented either Christ or the Most High, God. So in knowing that, I want you to look at this clip and kind of see what I'm getting at.
You must be able to see it, Mr. Anderson. You must know it by now. You can't win. It's pointless to keep fighting. Why, Mr. Anderson? Why? Why do you persist?
Apologies for the glare there. This is a highly unfinanced operation. I appreciate your patience in all of that. But, as it were, the point is simple when it comes to the overall aspect of the topic at hand. Luciferians, or Satanists, his name's not Lucifer anymore. He lost that when the Most High shot him down after he rebelled against him. So his name is Satan. Okay. Anyway, they're taught to rearrange the overall, let's say, values and moral and unmoral precepts. They want to change everything around. Okay? Why? You know, why is that such a big deal to these guys? You know, they want to make sure that people understand that there are limitless possibilities and just, oh, the sky's the limit. No, the sky's not the limit. It's not. If it was, we would have been, a long time ago, much more well off than we currently are. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We had our chance. Humanity had their chance to fix their problems. Not only have we not fixed our problems, we just made things worse. Alright? Is this due solely to humanity? In one sense it is, in only one sense. Sin. Right? Sin separated us from our rightful inheritance. Okay? From the Most High. Right? Unfortunately, this concept is almost a blind's eye. No pun intended. Almost a blind's eye to the Most High's children today. We're lost. We're scattered. We're disarray. We're pretty much what the Bible has said over and over again. We're persecuted by our enemies. We're enslaved by our enemies, which are the Khazarians, which are the Romans, which are the ones that are children of Nephilim. Now, you know what Nephilim is? Reference my other videos where I talk in depth about the book of Enoch and how it should not be taken out of the scriptures. Okay? As well as the Apocrypha, one of the things that Catholics got right. Okay? That should be in the Bible as well, and was in the Bible up until 1611 in the King James Version. Anyway, the point is this. These beings that are half human, half demon, have perpetrated a great deception over the world. It's in full detail. It's in full bloom. Your politicians are talking about it. Your social engineers, entertainers are also speaking on it. Some for, some not so for. Whatever the case may be, everybody has their own motive, whether it's in Christ or Satan. It's just the way it is. That's an absolute. Okay, that's kind of the point that I'm trying to get at here. Now, why is absolutism? Why has it been trying to be pushed out? Why has Satan tried to push it out for pretty much centuries now? All right. And when I say centuries, I'm talking about the old philosophers. Okay. I used to love philosophy. I used to be a philosopher myself. But until I realized that I was making half of this stuff up, and there was no real truth coming out of it. I could have said anything like, the reason farts are blue is because it's the true nature of the essence of the universe. Everything is blue. It's why I become blue sometimes. But sorrow is not sadness. It's just another heightened level of reality. I could go on and on, okay? And people that know me from the past knew that I was doing that. I was just BSing. But it sounds fun. It sounds good. It sounds like it's real. If you say something, okay? If you say something that pulls you away from mediocrity, your attention is going to be right on that. Why? Because you were created with an imagination, okay, and that imagination is unfortunately being used incorrectly by the masses, and it's a learned, taught response. We've been taught to do this. We've been taught to think that there's a myriad of possibilities. You know, God doesn't have to come back. That's what Satan tells people. You know. As a former Satanist, or occultist, really, I was taught to believe in endless possibilities, okay? But as I grew closer to the Most High, that's his name, as in Exodus 13, Moses asked him, what should we call you? And he says, Haya Shahaya, I am that I am. That's it. That's it. That's all you get. That's the truth. That's it. That's my name. Don't wear it out, all right? So, we know his name, and as I grew closer to him, I began to realize that not only are there absolutes, but there needs to be absolutes. Okay? Let's say you want to go deep sea diving. Alright? Now, regardless of what James Cameron says in his films, there's no way to breathe underwater, okay, under deep water without oxygen. Now, I gotta admit, science was suggesting, or science fiction rather, was suggesting in one of his films, I forget the name of it, but I think it's called It Deep or some jazz like that. It was about deep undersea researchers find aliens underwater, blah blah blah. Anyway, point is, he used an idea that was interesting to me. It explored my imagination when I first saw it. I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool concept. You know, we breathe embryonic fluid in our mother's wombs. So he turned that around and said, well, why can't that just be done in adults? And they had a machine that did that, so they were allowed to go under deep sea without oxygen. They were able to get the oxygen out of the water that way. On the surface, it sounds amazing, right? It's like, wow, that's really cool. But in reality, no matter what, you cannot breathe underwater. You will drown. That's an absolute. All right. So that's why, you know, science fiction wants to come up with new possibilities, and science comes up with possibilities. Well, we're going to put this oxygen tank. We're going to breathe in oxygen, a limited amount of air underwater, and then we can go underwater. Right? Okay, that's just reality. You cannot breathe underwater. Sorry, that's an absolute. Right? But here comes Satan, and he's like, well, are you sure? Why can't you breathe underwater? There is a myriad of possibilities. My magic and mysticism and science, which is the same thing, can bring that to you. Just give me more time. Here's the problem, okay? Time is subject only to the Most High because he lives outside of time and space, right? He's the creator of all this. The scriptures tell us he's the same today, tomorrow, yesterday. That's it, okay? So no, Satan, no, it's not going to work that way. I mean, you can say that all you want, and you can tell your underlings all you want, but the reality, okay, is that we've already got about 75% of Scripture confirmed. It's happened. The prophecies, I mean. All right, and we're talking about Daniel. We're talking about Ezekiel. All of the other relevant prophets. Christ himself, Matthew 24, talks explicitly about what pretty much is going on, like, on a daily basis these days. You see, you know, wars and rumors of wars and earthquakes in diverse places. I'm sorry, give me a break, man, but that is not by the power of Satan. That is by the prophecy of the Most High, who told you your place. What's your place? Okay? Well, it depends on who I'm talking to, right? If you believe Satan, if you believe any of these lies, well, then your place is going to be with him. In Revelation, it says, during Judgment Day, there's going to be one of two things that Yeshua will say to you. Yeshua being the Christ, the true Christ, and that his Roman name, Jesus. That's an incorrect name. Bible says, call upon the name of the Lord, and thee shall be saved. Well, you need to learn the name of the Lord. Okay, it's not Jesus. I'm sorry, there were no J's in that back then. There weren't. So it's a Roman name. It represents the son of Zeus, Jesus. I mean, Jay-Z knows it. That's why he changed his stupid ass name to that. So, going back to what I was talking about. The reality is this, okay? Satan can promise people a lot of things. And in Matthew 24:24, it even says that yes, he can answer miracles, answer prayers. But that is only to deceive the very elect, okay? Because everything works according to the glory and goodness of the Most High who believe, all right? That's all there is to it. So all of this stuff is being done for, by, and because of the will of the Most High who created everything, okay? So as a Hebrew Israelite, as a believer of the Most High in Christ Yeshua, I have to defer to absolutism because that's all there is to it. I don't care about all of these mysterious suggestions about mysteries. If it's a mystery, that's the Most High doesn't want me to know it, okay? That's part of the problem, okay? We decided to sin. We partook of the tree of knowledge, okay? And that's what got us into this to begin with. Sin, which is the true enemy of mankind. Now, he's an adversary, right? That's what the scriptures tell us. He's the adversary looking to devour anyone like a lion. Key word is like. He's not the lion, alright? He's not the lion. Yeshua the Christ is the Lion of Judah, alright? He saved us. He saved us simply by not sinning, by showing the world and the adversary, hey, you know what? It could be done. I'm going to do it. Boom. You got pwned. And he died sinless, that we may live despite our sin. So that's the problem, sin. Okay? Because, I've said it before, now we're only using 10% of our brains, right? Well, there's a reason for that, because we sinned. If we wouldn't have done that, if we would have waited, instead of being tempted by Satan, to partake the tree of knowledge, the Most High would have shown us what we're supposed to know. The Most High would have shown us what we were supposed to know. And obviously, during the millennial reign of Christ, after the 7-year war, when Yeshua comes back with the angelic forces and decimates Satan's armies and followers, we'll be able to rebuild the earth and reclaim ourselves as a people. First the Jew, then the Gentile. All right, all can be saved according to the scriptures. It's not about, race in that degree. Alright. Although I will say, if you guys are always are proponents of, well, I like the way the white Jesus guy looks, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep that in my mind. So why do you have to worry about all the racism? I mean, so what if he was black? Well, let me ask you a question. If it wasn't such a big deal, why do you hold on to the white one? Why was he changed into white all of a sudden? You're pointing the finger at Hebrews, saying that it's all we think it is about race. Well, that's not fair. That's not a fair assessment, because who was the one that changed him into white to begin with? Okay, the Khazarians, Nephilim, children of Nephilim, that kind of thing. Satanists. Okay, so it's not a fair assessment. It's foolish. It's like saying, well, you're racist because you hate racism. What? Guy, no, he's black. He was black. Just put up a black, image so that you know what's going on. Revelation 13 tells us straight out who he was. Hair of wool, white, skin of, as if, I'm paraphrasing, as if, burnt in a furnace, bronze burnt in a furnace. It's a dark-skinned individual. If you don't know that Adam was a black man, then you're not educated. You're just not. You need to look back at history, at the scriptures, and everything that has to do with reality, because these are absolutes. Okay, see where my point is coming to? The most definitive absolute that I have grown to understand is the fact that I sinned. I can't get around that. I cannot absolve myself of it in any way, shape, or form. I've tried. I've used mysticism, I've used occultism, I've used politics, I've used art, I've used philosophy. I've used all these things to justify the one prevailing understanding of my soul, which is I have sinned and I have fallen short to the glory of the Most High, and there's nothing anyone can say to change that. Satan tries. He does it in films, he does it in music, he does it in political and economic circles, to get you to understand and believe, not understand, I'm sorry, there's no understanding in it, it's just a belief, because there's no reality to it, that all these possibilities are endless. Why? This is the thing that we need to examine the most right now, because this is the plan of Satanists. Not many people know about this stuff, which is weird because I do, and like I'm nobody, but the point is, I often wondered, how do these celebrities and political and economic moguls and even religious leaders fall into the satanic army? You know, all these people getting people to believe in Satan. You know, he's going to save the world. It's like it didn't make any sense to me, even as an occultist. I was like, nah, it's evil. You know, I understand it's evil. I'm manipulating things that the Most High left behind. Okay, because fallen angels were able to reverse engineer certain aspects of the Most High's power, and they're teaching it, you know, to human beings. And then I knew it was evil. All right, but there's others out there that believe he's good. You know, and I'm sure we've seen the clips of Lady Gaga and Jay-Z and all these zealots, you know, race traitors, that sign a deal with the devil. You know, they do it out of belief, out of faith. They think that Satan is going to be successful in turning the entire human race away from the Most High, so that Yeshua the Christ doesn't have to come back, or won't come back, to save any of us. He won't come back for any of us. Why? Because he wouldn't need to, because everybody rejected him. And first of all, that's a lie. Okay? The Bible even says if it was just one person he'd come back for, he would. Okay? But let's play the advocate. The devil's advocate. See what I did there? Anyway, let's play the advocate real quick and say, okay, well, let's say that humanity does reject Christ before he arrives, which, by the way, nobody's going to know when he does. But let's say we do, and you know, even let's even go further than that, and think about their hadron colliders all over the world. What, like 14, 15 of them all over the world, not just CERN in Geneva. CERN's right over basically the core of the earth, the pit of hell. Okay, the bosom of Abraham is right next to the pit of hell. Okay, so, you know, kind of heaven-hell thing in the center of the earth. I'll do some videos on that later on. Look it up yourself, it's fine. The point is that CERN is there, and their suggestion, their overall suggestion, doesn't have anything to do with finding the God particle and all the other, you know, BS that they put out there. Those are preface, okay, stories that they tell overall consensus, so that they can agree and say, wow, that'd be cool, man. We can totally find it out through science. Science is the way, man. Oh, yeah, science will tell us everything, man. Yeah, man, it even tells me how to take a poop. Science is a language, nothing more. A language that humanity has used to figure out the creation of the Most High. Okay? The Bible tells us straight out that there is nothing new under the sun to the Most High. Why? Because he created everything. It's stupid to think anything else. And most people will argue with me that don't understand this. They'll say, well, like, I don't believe in God and I don't believe in Satan. Okay, well, that's a belief. And, okay, you know. What speaks to you speaks to you. Okay? If I knew you personally, if I talked to you personally, I would testify to you personally. And I would say, look, you're a sinner. You're going to hell if you sin. I'm a sinner. I'm going to hell if I sin. Hell is forever, and it is complete separation from God. Yeah, all the torture and the torment and all that stuff, that sucks, okay? But the thing that changed me personally was the fact that I'd never have the Most High around. Like right now, even when things seem bad, my health issues, all that kind of stuff, I feel Him. I know He's here. And it's foolish for anyone not to think that, because I get every breath from Him. So I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop loving Him and trying to do what it is that I need to do for Him. That's a personal message to any of you weasels, okay, that are trying to place your foolishness on me and mine. It's not going to work. Okay? It's not going to work. You're done. In the name of Christ, we're going to keep going. Now, going back, okay, CERN's supposed to also open up the abyss, right? It's spoken about in Revelation as well, that he's given keys to open up the abyss. But what do you think that key is? It's CERN. It's the only thing that can. It opens portals. Just ask Stephen Hawking. He'll tell you all about it. Which is by now is no longer really an agnostic. After seeing demons come out of that portal, he's changed his tune quite a bit. Praise the Most High for that. One of the smartest guys in the world. Are you kidding me? He's like, you know what, this atheism thing, it's really, no, it's not working out for me. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because it's the truth. That there is something beyond atheism and agnosticism. But anyway, the point is that Satan gets these people to think that he's going to let all the people that you love that burned in hell, or burning in hell right now, out of the pit. Alright? And that Satan, just like Neo in the Matrix, was rebelling against the Smith character, which again was a symbol of the Most High, or his son Yeshua, because he chooses to. Yeah, that's an absolute, right? I choose to defy you. Well, you can choose to defy him all you want, but Mr. Smith was right. And my personal hero in the film, to be honest with you, all three of them, I loved seeing him do what he did. Okay? Because I understand the reverse symbology in it. I understand the reverse tactics that are put to make Satan the hero, which is what Jay-Z, Madonna, all the political morons, all these jackasses that follow him believe. Okay, they truly believe that he is the hero, that he's just like Neo. Neo's going to save you, just simply by rebelling. Okay, but you got to remember one thing about that whole concept. Wasn't he the one that got us all into this to begin with? Humanity, I mean. Now, ultimately, it's on us to make the decision to sin. I recognize that, obviously. But he's a manipulator and the accuser after he manipulated us. He's like, see, I got them to do it. They got to burn in hell with me now. I don't know if he laughs that way, but who cares? The point is that that's what's going on, man. Straight out, that's what's going on. That's what's happening. He rebelled against the Most High because he felt he had to. But the absolute is that the Most High is in control, always will be in control, and it's actually safer to say that the Most High is using Satan to test mankind. So if that's the case, if you and I and everyone else are being tested, it's time to find the answers out to that test and live up to it is who you were born to be. This goes out to everyone. Everyone. You call yourself a Christian, okay? You think that you love Christ, but you perform pagan rituals on key days that are satanic worshiping days. I won't mention the actual holidays, because to be honest with you, I'm kind of sick of saying them. But you know the ones I'm talking about. April, replacing Passover, the real celebration. You don't even have the day right. December, worshiping a false deity, a Roman and or Greek deity that is actually Satan, disguised as the Christ. Yeshua wasn't born on the 25th of December. We don't really know what day he was born on. Maybe September 11th. But the point is, he wasn't born on there. And he wasn't born of a virgin either. I need you to go and find a Hebrew dictionary and look up the term virgin. Okay? The term virgin for the Hebrews is a woman who has only slept with her husband, no one else. That is what a virgin is to the Hebrews. Not a person who has never had intimate relations with a man, which is what the pagans wanted us to believe, which is why they changed it. Because all the false deities, Ra, Osiris, Zeus, they were all supposedly born of this virgin person. But see, in 70 AD, that had to get changed around because Constantine could not control these quote-unquote crazy Christians running all over the place. Yeah. So he had to do something to control the masses, to get people under his rulership again. And he consolidated your religions. Okay? He consolidated all of the pagan religions and deities with what we would know today as Christianity. Okay? I'm no longer a Christian. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. But if I was, I do have Christian tenets, but they're not going to be post-Constantine Christianity. That's all wrong. All of it. Alright? You guys want to worship Yeshua? You want to worship him as God? He told you not to even do that. He even said not to do that. Christ himself, out of his own mouth, said, "Why do you call me good? None are good but the Father." Right? In other words, you worship the Most High. You don't worship me. Of course, in 1 John 14, 3, it tells us that he is the way to the Most High, right? He's the way to the Most High as the sacrificial lamb. I don't see anybody worshiping lambs. Yeah, when people in Old Testament, when people laid the lamb, to burnt offerings and whatnot, they didn't worship the lamb. Like, oh, great lamb. No, man. It was an offering to the Most High. Alright? You worship the Most High because he's the one that forgave you. Yeshua did it. He's my Christ. He's my king. But I don't worship a king. I serve a king. The worshiping aspect is idolatry, which is another reason why the Catholics took that particular commandment out of their, 9 commandments. Just if we could just take our heads out of our rear ends, you could see this. You can see what's going on here. It's not rocket science. I mean, some of it is, but who cares about that? The point is, Christ is my Savior and my King, the sacrificial lamb. But I worship Ahaya Shirahaya, who created me, him, and everything else. Right? I don't fall under the precepts of old paganistic religiosity that tells me to worship a man. I don't. I won't. Okay? I'll serve my King to the best of my ability by the power, will, and grace and mercy of the Most High who created us. That's the way it goes. That's an absolute. Alright? Which again brings me full circle to what I'm trying to get at. Absolutism. Do I absolutely believe in absolutism? Yeah, of course it exists. If you do not believe that fire will burn you, you're probably going to get burned. So maybe it's time for you to start understanding the differences between satanic BS.
Oh, the countless possibilities. I'm going to save all of you. Just trust me, I'll do it.
I'm saved already. Okay? And the people that are in hell, I hate to think about it, but the people that are in hell made their choice. Okay? And there's more important things going on here. There are people that don't even know Christ. right? I'm concerned for that. Do you think Satan, the accuser, the manipulator, is going to save me or them? No, the Bible tells us in Hosea 4:6, my people, the Most High's people, is what it's saying, are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Which means that you, as a believer in Christ, all right? Now, I'm not just talking to the Hebrew Israelites. I'm talking to the Gentiles and to the Christians, okay? Really think about this stuff, man. It's not something to just make you feel good. In fact, if you take up the gauntlet for the Most High, the Bible tells us that you're going into tribulation. Your life's going to get worse, right? Ecclesiastes tells, Paul talks about the sorrow of knowledge, right? But with sorrow comes understanding. And with understanding comes the will of the Most High. Be absolutely sure in what it is that you are here for. If you're not sure, it's about time you start figuring it out. If it's not believing in the things that I believe in, fine. But I would like you to at least think about it. Break out of this systemic idea that you are just another peg in the wheel. You're not. Okay? You're an individual. You were created wonderfully and fearfully by the Most High. Alright? If people are in hell, it's because they chose to be in hell. That's why it's so important for people out there to get the truth out there and make people, or help people understand, what the truth is. Now, I've been into every type of religious tenet that was ever out there, ever presented. I could probably tell you a little bit about every single religion that I know of, okay? And none of them had the truth except what I currently believe, which is the God of Israel, the Most High God. He created me, He created you, He created everything. It's up to Him to do what He wants to do with it, but He's given us a choice to either accept the truth, the absolute truth, or receive a lie and be separated from Him forever. I don't want that. I don't want to be separated from Him that I know I can call on now. Yeah, the burning and the suffering, the darkness, that sucks. Again, that sucks. But the worst part, the changing part for me is to know that I will never be able to pray to Him again. I'll be separated from Him forever. And that brings me back to what I was saying before. On Judgment Day, Christ Yeshua will say one of two things. Right? I've said this before, and it's, well documented. It still kind of chokes me up a little when I think about this. But what He's going to say to us is one of two things, which is, depart from me, thy worker of iniquity, for I never knew you. Right? It's over. That's it. You're done. You've just been judged. You're going to be separated from the Most High forever. You're going to burn in hell forever. That's what He's telling you. Or, well done, thy good and faithful servant. And it'll be a party. The kind of party that I am now interested in. Believe me, I've been to every type of party. Not good. Not good. They always ended up in some sort of problem or another. This is the kind of party that I want to go to. Right. After the millennial reign, the Bible tells you that the world's going to be destroyed. Oh, you didn't know that? Well, it's in the scriptures. Revelation. And Apocrypha. And the book of Enoch, Ezra's, I believe. Anyway, the point is, He's going to pretty much atomize. He's going to deliver all the things from heaven to earth, things that ascended. It's just going to chop the earth in half. It's going to be decimated, destroyed. Why? Well, because once we have been tempted for the last time after the millennial reign of Christ. His millennial reign is actually the reward that he gets because he, stood up for humanity and became the Savior by not sinning, that we may live again despite our sins. So, it's his time. We're gonna do a lot of great things during that millennial reign. But the reality is that the world must be destroyed after the beast is let out again. And he's going to tempt others that, didn't make it beyond that point. That'll be the last reckoning, the last time that the Most High will pass judgment on humanity. Then we will be made new, reconstituted, closer to what it is that we were always, right? Alright, so absolutism is real. And I pray that you learned a little bit something. Subscribe to the Nuclear Renaissance channel. It's basically all my junk in one channel. It makes sense to consolidate, and that's what I'm doing. You can like, subscribe, or yell at me, or hate me, or even love me. I don't care. I love it all. I think it's all awesome. We have to start correspondence. We have to start talking about these things because I believe that the time is near. And even as a secular person, if you don't think that we're headed towards nuclear war, well, maybe you should read a little more, or look at world events a little more, because it's going down, brah or sister. Anyway. I love you. In Christ's name, Yeshua, by the power of the Holy Spirit, and the will, mercy, and grace of the Most High, I bid you good evening.